Somehow, as society is falling apart and social distancing has become a thing, Apple has released or announced several new products. Too bad you can't actually go to an Apple store and buy them. Well, it's that and lots of other stuff all tonight on the Mac to the Future Livecast. Go. And welcome, everyone, to the Mac to the Future Livecast Go, where things just couldn't be going more wrong for this evening. I guess it's kind of par for the course these days. What do you think, Dave? Whoops. I just took him right out of the stream. There, he's back.
Yes, it's been crazy. I'm quarantined to my home like everybody else is, including I work from home, and it's been kind of busy. Yeah, but staying busy, and it's going to be exciting times here for the next few weeks.
Yeah, no doubt. How are you doing stuck there in Guatemala there, Warren? Oh, I did it again.
Oh, there I am.
Why do I keep hitting wrong buttons?
Why? I don't know. Yeah, so I got back from Aruba. So I left for Aruba about a week and a half ago, and we left, and then we're like, started to get a little bit crazy, and then we go away for a week, and every day was just like something crazier and crazier and crazier, and we come home, and then 2 days later they closed Aruba down for tourists, so that happened, so now I am actually really quarantined too. I am working now at a retirement community, and so
they're really excited to see you coming in from a foreign country.
So I came in from a foreign country, but but as it turns out, nobody's allowed in anyways. But so I got 14 days that I have to be here, and then probably we'll see what happens.
There.
Yeah. So I haven't really left the house. I wasn't gonna watch.
Thank you.
I wasn't going to shave or shower for you guys, but I decided to do that. So,
that was nice. I did neither today. So, I got my ponytail. It's somewhat limp, but that's sometimes just what happens. The particular company I work for decided at the last minute that they were going to have everybody work from home 2 days a week. That's all it was going to be, 2 days a week, which then spread to 3 and then 4. And now it's basically just 1 day a week. I go in on Fridays to get some stuff done that I can't do at home, which normally would be wonderful, but they have the worst at home policies and no clear directions. I have had 4 people come to my house to configure their computers so that they can get online at work.
But
because apparently I'm the only one that can figure out how to do it.
You're still you're still going to the office on Friday?
Yes, just on Friday. For now, they might change their minds and say everybody just stay home.
Yeah, why even bother the 1 day? It just
there are reasons that I can't really go into here.
Yeah, but still,
on the show.
Either do it or don't do it.
Well, sometimes you just don't have any choice. Yeah, thanks, Frank. The hell?
The
hell, man.
And the best part is it just comes right up big, right in your face.
It does. And I'm okay with that. I'm really okay with that.
That's a new rock group too.
Yeah, believe it or not, we actually have a lot of stuff to talk about.
We do. There was we do.
And it was all today.
And I have to talk about it again tomorrow.
Yeah. Give me a call. I might be available. We could actually live stream it again. Maybe we'll do another, we'll do a live In Touch with iOS over there on the Books of Face.
I think everybody's available tomorrow. The whole world is available tomorrow.
Yeah. Raise your hand, anyone who can't be there.
That's everybody.
Oh, no, I'm not seeing any other hands. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Couple of real quick takes. Golden Masters of iOS and iPad OS 13.4 have been released to developers.
And to Warren.
Considering what I have, I don't put beta versions of iOS on my phone, but I do put them on my iPad. I just got done putting the Gold Master on it, so I have no idea what differences this stuff is going to make. But based on some of the releases of hardware that have just announced today, I'm wondering how much of it is really going to be relevant to my first generation iPad Pro.
So I can answer some of that. So
no, go ahead, Dave. Or Warren, it's your turn.
Warren.
You may speak, Warren. Speak, Warren.
So I put the developer beta on my iPad Pro, the 11-inch.
Now you have what, the last gen?
Yeah, well, there was only one gen 11-inch, and that's the one.
Okay.
So you have your 2 gens. I'm sorry, I'm setting up 2 gens ago, and you have you're not going to get the mouse support. It's only for it was
2018 and up.
Yeah, the one after yours and the one after that. So essentially, I took a Logitech mouse. Any Bluetooth mouse will do, or trackpad. And if you go into the Bluetooth area, you don't have to go. You used to have to go into accessibility under assistive touch. It was buried in there. So now, if you just go to Bluetooth, you compare the mouse like anything else. So it pairs. Essentially, it's nice. The pointer's a little round circle, and basically, if it you move it around, it will kind of enlarge whatever kind of like you're clicking on, or the icons that you're clicking on, which is nice too. Scrolling works on the mouse I had. So if you're in like settings and you want to scroll up and down, you could scroll.
Or like a long web page or something.
Yeah, you could scroll using the mouse there. Right click brings up the context menu. Basically, if you it's the same as if you long press on iOS. It brings up that. The thing I had a problem with, and I told some people, but with just a mouse paired, the keyboard, the pop-up keyboard, if you don't have a keyboard paired, it's supposed to pop up a keyboard, the on-screen keyboard, but it didn't. So I had the mouse, and then when you went to type anything, you couldn't even type because the keyboard doesn't come up, and there's nothing on the bottom that will force it to come up. So that didn't work, which scares me a little bit. Is Apple kind of like make you use a Bluetooth keyboard with the mouse, which I don't think they would. Are they gonna, is it because they are only selling their thing which has both the keyboard and the mouse? So hopefully they fix that. Otherwise, everything else was kind of the same in the beta. And with the Golden Master, basically the Golden Master, I think it's like 80% of the time will become the release. 20% of the time they'll change it.
Yeah, they'll pull it back and make whatever changes show up, last minute bugs and that kind of thing.
Pretty much. So, Dave and I, could use a mouse. The new iPads that we'll talk about later, they announced a keyboard trackpad.
There we go.
They announced a new Magic Keyboard with a trackpad on it, and that will work with our 2008 iPads.
As long as you're willing to spend another $350 or $300 to $350 on it.
Yes, it's $299. $299 for the 11-inch, $350 for the 12.
I mean, really?
You could buy like a Windows computer for.
Yeah, an entire almost said a bad word computer, rather than
the keyboard. I mean, the keyboard looks great.
Nuts.
But
sure, and to see the screen or the iPad like floating in midair. I mean, when I first saw that, I was like, "Oh, that is so cool!" But light of day and all that, and plus, number one, it's not even going to be available until May. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of like, is it $350 worth of cool? Plus, on top of having to buy either the last gen or current gen iPad just to be able to use it.
I'm sure
because I always get
ours to you. So,
well, I mean, I always get every single time I've gotten an iPad, I've always gotten the Wi-Fi cellular model. So that's another $150, something like that. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at to get a 12.9 inch with either 256 or 512 and this keyboard.
It's like $10,000.
Well, I mean, it's you're pushing $1,600 for that.
Oh, yeah. But now it's a real computer.
Let's save that for the main story, though.
Yeah, well, let's go into that later.
All right. Next quick take: WWDC goes virtual, which I guess is no big shock. What do you think about that, Dave?
No big shock at all. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. It was interesting to see what they did today because there was supposed to be an announcement at the end of this month, and of course there was no way that was going to happen. So I think with WWDC, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the main event will be easy to stream, but I guess you're going to have some virtual rooms set up in order to be able to see all the other events that are going to be there. And who knows, by that time, are there going to be people there? Hard to say.
Well, here's the thing. People are spending a crap ton of money to go to one of these events. And the fact that it may or may not happen, I mean, San Diego has got to be losing their minds right now, thinking about all the revenue that they're losing out on, all those hotels and all the restaurants. And
San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was San Diego.
No,
San Jose.
So it's the Bay Area.
Right, San Diego.
So
they're way down south.
Okay, well they're losing a lot of money. Well, all these conferences that have now been canceled are just So I mean, when we come to the other side of this,
it's a good thing Apple has money.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have said before that with as much cash as Apple has, even with all the stock buying that they've been doing, they could weather, not releasing any new products for 2 to 3 years, and not even skip a beat, keep everybody that they have, and just keep going.
This virus is going to knock out a lot of companies. This is a lot of companies are not going to survive this. Big ones, hopefully will, but small companies are definitely not going to survive this. Companies that were hurting before this, like Sears, obviously is done. I think the last one I heard was Macy's was having problems too. I mean, it's kind of put the nail in the coffin for a lot of these places. So.
Certainly a lot of brick and mortars are. I mean, a lot of them were already on their way out anyway.
Yeah, but this will seal it. And then Apple, Apple has money. They'll be okay. They got product coming out, so I think they're going to get through it. I'm sure they're going to get through it, but it's I think WWDC is probably the last thing on their list that they're worried about at this point. So they're just going to. All
right. Well, then let me ask you guys something. When we get to the other side of this, it's going to be as far as technology and the way that we buy and sell technology. It's going to be a different kind of world. So who and what is going to be left? You figure that a lot of the major areas where people currently go shopping will probably go under, because I don't think a lot of them can afford to be down for a month, 2 months waiting for all this to, kind of blow over. So what's going to be left, and how will people, I mean, we were already pretty much in the digital age as far as shopping goes with, Amazon and some of the other online retailers. is there still going to be a place for brick and mortar stores that don't provide essentials like eating and or drinking or anything along those lines? What's going to be left? What do you think?
Yeah, no, it's going to be all these retailers are closing up now. I mean, Nordstrom, I heard, is closing, and probably Macy's and a lot of the big brick and mortar retailers they can't sustain it. Nobody could be going to those stores. You can only have 10 at a time, and it isn't worth those stores being open. But then you'll go look at these grocery stores that have been going on. They're going strong, but they're also no toilet paper, no paper towels, no water. It's all the hoarding of that too.
What is wrong with you people?
Yeah,
buying cases of toilet paper. Really? When I find out, I don't want to go off on a rant on this, but there are some things that just make my blood boil. And yeah, I will anyway. But there's something about, I see people walking through parking lots to their cars with like 24, 48, 64 rolls of toilet paper, like it's some kind of precious commodity that's never going to return again. And with everything going on, why the hell are you buying cases and cases of bottled water? This isn't a hurricane. This isn't a snowstorm where you're going to be stuck inside of a home with no power and all the rest of that. It's a virus that will eventually go away, but the basic services, to the best of my knowledge, aren't. The supply chains are still running. The grocery stores are still getting stocked. Please, for the love, and to buy frozen food. You're going out and panic buying toilet paper and water and then stocking your freezer that if this was a real calamity, Armageddon kind of thing, you wouldn't have power for all that frozen food. If you're going to go out and buy food, get the canned stuff, the stuff that will last for a long time. You put it on the shelf and it stays on the shelf and it's good until you open it.
All right.
I didn't want you.
We could spend 3 hours on why people are buying things, and
because they're so stupid. Oh my God, I'm losing my mind over this.
You know what? It's weird times. We might think it's stupid now, but a month from now, we might be like, why did I not buy all that? Whatever.
Oh, that toilet paper yeah.
Well, the toilet paper thing is because one group, it's people started with it, and then people aren't buying that now. People aren't buying it now because they want it. They're buying it now because they're scared that there's none left. There's not going to be any left because everybody's hoarding them. So, it started a panic for some reason, but some things are like chicken. You can't find chicken in any supermarket.
Yeah. Or ground beef. I was having trouble finding ground beef.
We found one store has ground beef. So, the supply chain.
Here you go.
The Charmin Bears. Anyhow, let's go.
iPads.
Yeah, there's plenty of iPads out there too. Okay.
There are.
New iPad Pro. Apple announced a new iPad Pro in 11 and 12.9 inch sizes with something called an A12Z bionic chip. I have no idea what that means. It has an 8-core GPU with battery life of up to 10 hours, 802.11ax Wi-Fi 6, dual band in both 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, and Bluetooth 5. Did the last one have Bluetooth 5 or was that still Bluetooth 4?
I think it's the same.
Okay. No LTE 5 cellular, so it doesn't have 5G yet. But it does have the same or similar triple cameras that are found in the iPhone Pro, supporting LiDAR, which is light detection and ranging. USB-C connector along with a smart connector for keyboard. Storage begins at 128 gigabytes and goes all the way up to 1 terabyte of lovely, lovely digital storage.
It's got 6 gig of RAM, just by the way. That was just released.
Was that, what did the last one have, 4?
4, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you guys think of this new iPad, Warren?
The iPad, personally, between my 11-inch 2018 and this one, I know I say this now, and I know I'm going to go back and somebody's going to call me on it. But as of right now, I don't see any reason to change it. I don't use the iPad that much, and the keyboard looks like the start of the show, and the keyboard works on my iPad. The camera system, I've never been a picture taker on an iPad, and I don't think
that's I don't get that.
I have an iPhone Pro Max, which has the same camera array, I think. And the speed, I mean, I'm sure it's faster, but the ones we have now, Dave and I, it's pretty damn fast. So I don't know how much.
Well,
faster
heck, even the first gen one that I have, which I think is an A10, it's still pretty fast.
Yeah, no, I mean, the way these things work is like it's fast, but then you're going to go see one, or eventually Apple will open, play with it, and you're going to go, well, that is fast, and you're going to want it. So that's what Apple does. But on the surface, between the cameras and the speed bump, I mean, if you have an older iPad, it's great. If you want to get a Pro now, it's awesome. Do it. But if you have, the last generations of the Pros, I don't know.
Okay, Dave?
Yeah, I agree. And don't you look like a dork when you take a picture like this?
You do.
Yeah,
you do.
And
you only have 2 cameras. That one sucks.
Well, I think that one only has 2 cameras too, if I'm not mistaken. If I looked at the press release, I don't think it has 3.
No, it has
a wide angle and a telephoto.
I thought it had 3.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Well, it's got the same.
It looks like
same footage
concept as the iPhone 11.
As the iPhone 11. Whether it has
I believe
3, I don't know.
It's only 2 lenses, but no, I agree with Warren 100%. It's a lot, and there's to justify really much of the difference between the 2018 model that I have, like he does, and the new one here is I just don't see it. Processor, you'll see a little bit of speed, but there was a lot of the AR with that new technology out there that it would take advantage of. I just don't see a huge jump with this one if you already have the 2018 model.
Okay, so are either one of you planning on getting one, or are you gonna go and take a look first and make up your mind then? Because you both have the latest current one, or the last one that was just released.
Yep.
I personally don't see it. I would love to have that keyboard and mouse thing, but
which we'll talk about.
Well, if you're on the 2018, it should still work.
It should still work, and it's the kind of thing where I think I want it, but I'll never use it. So probably.
But it
you also have
we all float.
Third party with Bridge. Bridge is coming out with their touchpad keyboard too.
So the one that Bridge announced that you saw, David, I'm sure it's going to work a lot better now with this improvement. And I'm sure they knew that. I'm sure they know it.
Yeah, I'm sure they knew about it, to why they designed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Bridge also designed a external touchpad that will go with their current keyboard too. So you'll be able to even pick that up if you want.
But as I said, any Bluetooth mouse is going to work, and we'll do.
But if you want the touchpad experience.
If you want, I think that there's some gestures that there's a video out by Air Force One where he shows it, and basically
Air Force One.
the Craig Federici. The 3 fingers will do like the home screen. I mean, they try to mimic some of the things that the Mac.
Yeah, actually, that video was. I mean, when you saw some of the things that the cursor, because I mean, basically they didn't change the cursor to an arrow. It's still the circle. You're always, for now at least, it's still going to be the circle. However, when it runs over certain elements that's on the screen, it changes. Like if you're running over an area where you have text that can be edited, then it turns into, the up and down little thing where you can select text. If you're over a button or something like that, it basically highlights the entire button so that, you know what it is you're pressing before you actually press it. So there's no mystery along those lines. And I played with
it, and it works nicely, as I said. It's the small circle is a lot better than the big circle from Assisted Touch. It's fine, and it's precise, and it works. It does what you need to do. I didn't get a chance to play with different. I mean, the thing I would really want to do is, for me, my purpose would be to test out
some of the gestures.
I rather the remote PC stuff like TeamViewer, VNC, things like that. Because I do a lot of remote support, and I always,
especially now.
And I do a lot of it's always been hard with an iPad because of the lack of mouse.
I think we lost Marcus.
That's all right. We don't need him. So
be nice.
I was just using.
Yeah, I think my rants scared him off.
Yeah, I don't blame her. All right, what's next?
Okay. Next up is the new iPad and 2018 Model 2 support. We were just talking about this advanced mouse and trackpads. Oh wait, hold on. Let's come over here, and I'm going to hit this and then go
mouse.
Beep. There, mouse and trackpads. A very cool looking keyboard that lets the iPad float above that keyboard is coming in May for the 11 and 12.9 inch iPad Pros. There are as yet unconfirmed reports that the 2018 iPad will also be able to use the crazy expensive at $300 and $350 Magic keyboards. Built into iPad OS are new methods of mouse support, including self-configuring to different on-screen needs. Now, when I was watching that video that you were talking about, Warren, with Federici, basically a lot of, at least for now, I mean, they didn't show them all, obviously, but a lot of the touch gestures that you currently have to do on screen is now available to do on the trackpad that's built into this ridiculously expensive Magic keyboard. It better be Magic for $350. It better make my lunch and cut the crusts off my bread for $350.
It cures Corona.
Well, you know what? It's still too expensive. It's still too much.
So yeah, when you take the trackpad on the mouse and you go to like the bottom of the screen, even without a gesture, if you take the mouse and go to the bottom, the dock comes up.
Yeah, just like it does on the Mac.
Yeah, so it's basically like that. Or if you go to the top right, Control Center pops down. So a lot of it's not even gestures; it's just putting the mouse for in certain areas of the screen.
Now remember what I was saying last week. Well, everyone has been talking about the Mac moving to ARM. I don't think that's what's going on here. I think it's the iPad OS becoming more like a Mac.
Yeah.
And based on what we're seeing, I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I still, even with the improvements and that keyboard, if I had the offer, if I had to bring a MacBook or one of those with me, and that was the only thing I was bringing, I would always go with the MacBook still. I'm not, for me personally.
A lot of that is still kind of muscle memory, though. I mean, that's what you're used to using.
There's still more you could do on a MacBook than you could do on an iPad.
Sure. That's true.
But now with the next announcement, I might be buying something.
New MacBook Air starting at $999 and a new Mac Mini with 4 to 6 cores. Apple has released new versions of the Mac Mini, starting with a 4-core i3 all the way to a 6-core i7 and up to 2 terabytes of SSD storage. Once again, nothing of that is customer replaceable. i3 and i5 dual, and do they still allow for memory?
In the Mac Mini, they changed it because now, if you look on their website, look at the picture, the memory is right under the bottom cover. I upgraded.
Is it soldered?
Mine. No, they're chips.
It's easier
because it wasn't soldered in the previous model of Mac Mini because I did it. It's required to take the whole thing apart nearly and get to it, and then there was a heat shield cover you had to remove, and then you got to get to the memory and then replace it and then put it all back together again. I did it on my old.
Okay, well, if that's true, then I'll walk that back.
Yeah. I was surprised.
But up to 2 terabytes of internal storage. And with both of these machines, the new MacBook Air and the Mac Mini, give some thought to not only what your current storage needs are, but what your storage needs may be in the future, because once it's in your hands, that's it. There is no that we know of.
With the bus speeds now on these machines, and you're using Thunderbolts, I mean, you can get a nice.
Oh man, did you see the backside of that Mac Mini? 4 Thunderbolt ports.
Yeah.
And only 2 USB 3 ports, but 4 Thunderbolt ports.
So,
which means that you've got expansion capabilities up the wazoo. However, at that point as well, though, remember, Dave, that at that point, how portable. I mean, one of the things about the Mac Mini that makes it kind of nice is if you absolutely had to, you can just pick it up and take it someplace else. Right. But if you have a ton of devices hanging off of it, well, then, picking it up and taking it someplace else isn't as much of an option.
People don't move Mac Minis around that much. I
took mine and I jumped it over here and went over there and just.
Didn't I sell you one? Do you still have the one I sold you? The Mac Mini?
I had, at one point, Warren, I had 2 Mac Minis. I had a quad core 2012 that I ended up giving to my brother Bill down in Florida. Remember when I went down to Florida last August, because he wanted to connect a monitor to. No,
I don't need the whole.
Okay, story. Well, just to a 2008. No, I don't. Okay. I no longer have any Mac Minis here. Okay. And the other one I gave to, didn't give. It's more or less permanently loaned out to a good friend of mine who's in the process of kind of switching over from Windows. And he used to give me crap all the time about being only a Mac guy. And now he's got like all kinds of Apple devices. And isn't that what always seems to happen?
Yes. Yes, it is. All right. So let's talk about the good one.
The MacBook Air.
The MacBook
Air. Go ahead.
Which I know Warren's going to be buying.
I am going to buy it. I have a 2018. I have a 2018 Air right now. So,
well, don't you also have a MacBook Pro?
I do.
Yes. Why do you need an Air if you have a MacBook Pro?
It's a 16-inch Pro, and I don't like to travel
just because
with that.
Yeah,
and because I want something lighter to travel with. So, okay. But anyways, it's so I have a 2018 256 gig Apple trade, and it will give me $570 for it, which is not terrible considering you could buy the refurbished one right now for like $7. So I mean, so they're going to send me a box. What can I tell you about the new MacBook Air? The first big thing is the keyboard is now the Magic Keyboard, which is Apple's way.
Is that the improved butterfly thing?
It's the improved non-butterfly thing. It's scissor switches. So it's the scissor keyboard is the first thing.
Okay.
It also has the it says it's 2 times faster than the old model because the processor on mine I think is an 8th gen core processor, and this one's a 10th. And the specs you could get them from i3 all the way up to it starts at a dual core i3 and it goes all the way to a quad 4 i7. Clock speeds are 1.1 or 1.2. Which
what about storage? Does that go up to the 2 terabytes of storage?
2 terabyte. You could get it up to 2 terabyte. So the initial one they bumped up. Originally from last year, the base configuration had 128 gigs. Now it has 256 gigs as a base. And they also lowered the starting price, which is nice of that. The base model comes with the i3 processor, the dual core. It's the only
and it's a 1.1 gigahertz.
1.1 gig dual core i3, which is
right. It's no speed demon, but here's the thing. Computer processors and computers in general have become so fast that you would find it very, very difficult, unless you're doing like multi-track video, you would find it very, very difficult to max out even some of the lower spec processors these days.
Depends on what you're doing, but that's pretty low. I would have to play around with that. That's a pretty low spec.
And plus, you could upgrade it to a Core i7 quad core 10th gen.
Well, not after you buy it.
Not after you buy it.
You have to buy it at that time. So it's only 8 gigs of RAM versus 16.
So the base, so just like last year, they have a base config and an upgraded config. But the last year and the year before was the only difference was the storage space between the two. One was 128 gig, and the other one was 256. Everything else was exactly the same. So this year they changed it where the base is the lower end processor as well as the lower storage, and the upgraded model, which is 1200 instead of 900. You get the bigger hard drive at the 512. You get the
quad core i7, or is it an i5?
It's an i5.
If you upgrade, it's quad core.
It's quad core, but it's i4.
Okay, you know what? A quad core i5, even if it's only 1.2 gigahertz.
It's 1.2 gigahertz. The quad core i5 would be perfect. It's great.
Yeah,
so, that's perfect.
You pair that with 16 gigs of RAM.
You can get
512 to 1 terabyte of storage, and you got yourself a fine, really light kind of little machine.
You don't even need that for a secondary laptop. I mean, 8 gigs is on my Air now, and it's fine of RAM, so it's not a problem. Unless you're using
a laptop,
Yeah, for a throw around laptop that I eat breakfast off of, and
he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
So it's good. It's a good upgrade for it. The fear, what's the fear? The fear is, in the next few weeks they're gonna release this 14-inch Pro, and
maybe.
No, definitely it's coming. So this 14-inch Pro is gonna. Right now the MacBook Pro 13-inch is the only one with the bad keyboard, so they got to fix that. So. Yeah. They're coming out with this 13 or 14-inch MacBook Pro with the new keyboard. There's some talk about using micro LEDs for the display, but that's just a rumor. But if it comes out and the price point is almost the same as the Air, then who knows?
Okay, that's kind of all we got tonight. Yes, folks. So we appreciate the fact that you've come here tonight. Before we go,
really,
Dave, if people wanted to get a hold of you, how would they do it?
Well, they go to intouchwithios.com, where that fine gentleman on this panel, Warren Sklar, co-hosts with me. Missed him last week. He was, of course, had to be in Aruba, but had a treat.
Naturally.
Had Mr. Chuck Joyner join me last week, so we had a great episode. Give it a listen. We'll have another show this week. We're recording tomorrow, and check it out.
Maybe we'll do it live.
Yeah, we could. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm also president of the Apple User Group. Unfortunately, we're going to be on a hiatus for a while because of this coronavirus. But had to cancel our meeting last week for obvious reasons. So shout out to my friends and out there for the Apple User Group. And then on Twitter, I'm on DaveG65.
Okay, Warren. What are you doing?
I found this on the table. Some kind of lotion. I'm going to use some. Working.
I don't even want to know why you have lotion on the table. It puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets the hose again.
That's just wrong.
That is just wrong. So
where to find me? You can find me where you can find everybody else in the world at their house right now. So
yeah. Well, I mean, online stuff.
Oh,
yeah. That'll definitely hold your hair in place, whatever that stuff is.
It's like something about Mary.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh no. Okay, we're gonna jump right away from that.
You gotta cut away.
Okay, all right.
Mary, where can we find
something you, about Mary. You can find me. My email address is guy@mymac.com. I have not one but 2 Twitter accounts: Mac Parrot. And Vert Shark. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Besides this show, I also do the MyMac.com podcast each and every week with Mr. Gazmaz. Every weekend, I should say. And on actually, I've done like 2 this month so far. So I also do Guy's Daily Drive. And these days, I don't even have to worry about that much traffic.
Yeah.
It's
I don't even think there's no driving. You're not allowed to go anywhere.
Yeah, I can just sit in my car and record there. Maybe on my way to work on Friday. If you would like to help with the things that I do, you can do a couple things. Number one, this is eventually going to be out on YouTube. You can watch it there. There'll be links here on the Facebooks and all the rest of that. You can like, share, subscribe to all of the stuff that we do here at the Guys Daily Drive RSS feed. If you just look up Guys Daily Drive over there in iTunes or in podcasts or the podcast catcher of your choice. It will all be there. Monetarily, if you'd like to help, you can buy me a coffee at coffee.com, ko-fi.com/Mac. You can also do that Patreon thing. Patreon, patreon.com/MacParrot. Or you can be like Chris, who recently sent me some cash. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. That's over there at PayPal, paypal.me/MacParrot. And before we go real quick, assuming that the world gets back on its feet, we have MacStock 2020 coming up in July in Woodstock, Illinois, just outside of Chicago. Well, we'll see. That's 4 months away. Hopefully things will be relatively back to normal by then, but you can find out more information about MacStock 2020 by going to MacStockConferenceandExpo.com, or probably either MacStock 2019 or MacStock2020.com will redirect you there as well. Check it out. It's a great show. It's relatively inexpensive, and you can see me and so many of the other people, including Mr. Ginsburg, and other people, assuming that it happens, and other podcasters and a lot of really smart people, much smarter than me. And how hard is that? And it's just a good time. So check that out if you can. And I think, guys, that is going to about do it for this evening. Thank you both for being here. I appreciate it. And for having the patience while I cussed and ranted and raved, not necessarily on the show, but before we even got started.
I was very busy.
Yeah, I was not happy. Got to show this one. And thus the shark was jumped.
And I'm in a shark messing.
No, so it's over.
Oh,
it will be over. So, and Dave has a call. So
Hello.
On that note, B flat.
Hello.
Hi. Hello. We are going to wrap it up for this evening. Thank you all so very much for joining us this evening right here on the Mac to the Future livecast. We will see you next week right here. So say goodnight, Warren. Say goodnight, Dave. You can wave. Just wave.
Good night, Dave.
Good night, Dave.
Good night, Dave.
Good night, Dave.
Hello.